making process didn't go as well as I planned, but I should be just grateful that I'm able to drink this first cup of coffee in the morning. I've got so much milk left. Mainly it's just foam, but yeah, but the foam is the best part as well, so. Oh, this is good. At the end of the day, I make everything better, and that's what I do. No, I'm just joking. I'm currently at my girlfriend's apartment, and it's Saturday. She's got work today, unfortunately, so that I won't be able to spend time with her. But because I had a day off work on Friday, I came over here on Thursday and spent 2 nights here. And after finishing this coffee, I'm going home and do my own thing. I'm just on my way home, but I wanted to ask you guys a quick question about how I've been feeling lately, and I wanted to understand how you guys deal with this if you're going through the same feeling as I do, if that makes sense. You see, I'm still trying to figure out what my priorities are in life. And these days, what I have figured is that I really want to prioritize time over anything else. Time gives me the opportunity to experience things. Having time means that I can get to spend more time with the people that I love and care about. I guess my question is that, are our lives gonna be like this for the rest of our lives? What I mean by this is that, for example, right, I currently have a girlfriend that I love and care for, and I want to get to spend more time with her. But because both of us work and live in different places, I can only get to see her during the weekends. And some of you might say, oh yes, Inna, but at least you are able to see her every weekend. And the time apart from each other makes the weekends more amazing because we miss each other so much, which I totally understand. But I can't stop wondering how long I have to wait for in order for me to spend more time with her in the future. And you might tell me, well, then why don't you just move in together? Which makes sense, because that means we'll be able to spend more time. But the fact that both of us work for 40 hours is not gonna change, right? I've been watching a lot of videos in terms of like work culture and stuff, and you guys already know this, but during the Industrial Revolution time, Henry Ford decided to introduce the system of 40 hours per week working culture. And before that time, people used to work for many hours, and even children were forced to work under really terrible conditions. And he made it better by creating the system of 40 hours per week. And that also meant people could go out of work and spend time for themselves and spend money to move the economy, which makes total sense. And things got better, and I feel like countries like Japan have everything. This country is so convenient. To be honest, there's everything that I need to have a life with fulfillment. But I feel like what is lacking the most is time. And if we think about it, we've been doing the 40 hours per week for a long time. And I just believe that with the advanced technology that we have gained over the many years, I think we're gonna be able to work less and spend more quality time with people that we love and care for. That's just what I believe in anyway. You see, I'm not against the idea of working. To me, working is really important. Serving for other people is really important as well. By saying that, 40 hours per week might not be that bad, but if I ask myself the question of what I really want in my life, I think I want more flexibility. For me to be able to work remotely, for me to be able to choose when to work hard and when to relax. Because to be honest, if somebody comes up to me right now and tells me that I don't have to work because I have all the money that I need in my life, and I'll probably spend some time just relaxing, or take a trip to somewhere and stuff. But after a while, I think I'm just gonna get bored. You see, we all have this phase where the grass is always greener on the other side. So we try something, we get used to it, we get bored, and then we try something else. So I don't just want to do work only or like resting only. I want to do both, but with a bit more of flexibility, if that makes sense. To be honest, it wasn't a question at all. I just told you guys how I've been feeling about this concept. But it felt good anyway. Thank you so much for listening. To be honest, Japan is way behind the 40 hours per week working culture. You know, like a lot of us work way more than 40, like 50, 60, 70, 80 hours per week. And to change this cultural aspect, it's gonna take a long time. But somehow I really wanna make the situation better for everybody in Japan. I guess at the end of the day, in my opinion, there are a lot of Japanese people who value the importance of working, and I don't disagree with that at all. But at the same time, because we value work so much so that some of us are really unhappy about it, that's where I want to change. There's nothing wrong with working hard, but to life, I believe that there's more than just working, and there's so many other aspects that we can get to experience life. Not just about working, maybe connecting with people that we love, we care for, spending more time with them, that's also important. There's so many variables to enjoy life, to experience life, to love life. So I guess my mission is that, just to convey the importance of being yourself is one, for sure. But another thing is like, there's so many things that we can get to enjoy about life. It's not just one or the other. And I just want to keep informing that through my channel, and that's just my passion. I need to apologize to you that a lot of times I still feel like I'm not articulating what I want to tell you well. And if we're having a conversation right now like this, if I say something and then you'll be like, oh, do you mean this? And I can correct myself, oh, no, that's not what I meant. But one of the hardest things about vlogging is like whatever comes out from my mouth. And yeah, I'm still trying to learn how to just articulate things that I want to tell you with simplicity. And I want to make everything that I say simple enough that anybody can understand what I'm just trying to tell you, if that makes sense. I think it's going to take time, so if you could be just patient with me, that will be great. At the same time, I understand that you might have different ideas as opposed to my perspectives and opinions, which is totally okay. Like, I want you to express your feelings, your perspectives to me in the comment sections and stuff, and then I'll try giving my perspectives in the comment sections as well. It's totally fine to have different opinions for everything, and everyone has different opinions, and I really want to learn different perspectives all the time. So I would really appreciate if you could just give me your honest feedback, I guess. I was actually waiting to do this for a long time. time for Q&A. Oh gosh, sun's bright. So I'm just wearing this microphone at the moment. It's really windy out here, so I just didn't want to deal with the noise of the wind when it comes to editing later on. So the other day I asked you guys to ask me questions on YouTube, and there have been 20 comments. Thank you so much for your participation. So let's get into it. Masahiro asked me, "Hi Senai, you can speak English so fluently. When you think about something in your mind, which language do you use?" Like when I talk to people in Japanese, I think about everything in Japanese. And when I speak in English to others, I think about things in English, if that makes sense. But when it comes to just me spending time by myself, I practiced to think about everything in English because until the age of 15, I didn't speak English. And I fell in love with learning English, and I went to New Zealand and started studying abroad at the age of 15, right? So for me to improve something, I have to be consistent about it. And since the age of 15, I have been practicing to think about things in English when I'm just by myself. So I practice talking to myself, or I've been listening to English, I've been watching things in English, and thinking about things in English became my habit. So I guess that's the answer. Low waist, high melanin asked me, "I'm curious what your ideal day of work would be like in a world with no obstacles to your enjoyment." I think of myself as a simple person. Okay, so there's a kid who's just crying beside me, so I will change the location. All right, that's better. So I think of myself as someone who's really simple. So my ideal day off is to spend time with someone that I really love, I really care for, whether it's about spending time with my family, my girlfriend, or my friends. I really value quality time with people that I love. To me, it doesn't really matter what kind of activities that we do or places that we go to. What matters the most is who I'm spending my time with. Even if I were having the nicest meal on this earth, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. Now there's another kid who's screaming beside me. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is tough. Even if I were having the nicest meal on this earth, I wouldn't be able to enjoy the experience because the person that I'm with is not that interesting. So to me, what matters the most is who I'm with. So my ideal day off would be to go to a cafe and have a nice cup of flat white or a latte and have a good conversation with someone that I love. As simple as that. Antonio King asked me, "When did you become so wise?" To me, wiseness can come from anything. And even if you're wise at one thing, it doesn't mean that you're wise for everything else. For me, I've always been a deep thinker. At the age of 4, right after I started going to kindergarten, I told my mom, "Why do I have to be the only one going to the kindergarten every single day for 2 years straight?" So I would like to take a quick moment and thank my mom for putting up with my shit. I guess I've always struggled to fit in, but eventually it became my strength. In comedy, they say that your weaknesses can be the biggest strength. And I believe that it is exactly the same for creativity. My weakness is that I can't seem to find a place that I belong to. So I'm just creating a place where anybody can feel at home on YouTube. And that's my passion. On YouTube though, you're seeing my passion, and that might be the reason why you think that I'm wise. But if you look at other areas of my life, for example, I'm terrible at drawing. I don't show my passion towards my 9-to-5 job, and I just do things that I'm told. So if you look at me from different angles, then I'm not as wise as you think I am. So to answer your question, in terms of my opinions and perspectives, I've always been this way. Like, I've always loved thinking deeply, as long as I can remember. And though my habit of thinking leads to overthinking, which takes me to a dark place every now and then, when I find lights in the dark place, by learning and experiencing. I get so excited and it makes me feel wanting to think more. So you seeing this passion of mine on YouTube might think that I'm wise, but it's just that my passion of thinking and communicating makes you believe that I'm wise, although I'm really terrible at many other aspects of my life. So let's ask a question here. How can we become wise? In my opinion, it's about finding things that you can be passionate about so that you keep going even if other people don't understand why you're passionate about it. Next, be consistent. Keep learning and practicing it for a long period of time. Then other people start recognizing you as a wise person, but you still feel like you're a student because there's always more that we can learn about things that we love. It's so vague, but this is just how I truly feel about this topic.